Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to Andrew's Life. I hope everyone's great today. On this video, we're going to be exploring Laurel, Mississippi. Now, Laurel, Mississippi is located in the southeastern region of Mississippi. It is 53 minutes or 58 miles to Meridian, which is going to be the closest, largest city to Laurel, Mississippi. Now, Laurel, Mississippi will pretty much have all your basic amenities right at your fingertips. But whatever you don't find in Laurel, then you can just drive an hour into Meridian. Now, if you want a little bit of fun, a little bit of excitement, well, you can drive an hour and 45 minutes to the Gulf of Mississippi. You can drive to Biloxi, Mississippi, the Mississippi Gulf, which is only an hour and 45 minutes away from here. Not that there's a whole lot of entertainment in Jackson, but Jackson, Mississippi is an hour and a half away from here, which Jackson, Mississippi is going to be your closest metro area to here. It's going to be your closest major city to here, an hour and a half away. And the population here is currently sitting at 17,161 people as of the 2020 census. And this city has lost 7.4% of its population. The population during the 2010 census used to be 18,540 people. The population peaked at 27,884 people back during the 1960 census. The city grew from 1910 to 1960, and then it began to lose people in 1970 to present. The racial makeup here is 26% white, 62% black, 8.5% Hispanic. And for some reason, if you want to move here to Laurel, Mississippi, your largest employers here are going to be Howard Industries, which they produce computer and other electronic equipment. And then you got Masonite International, which they design and manufacture doors for houses and buildings. You also got the South Central Regional Medical Center. Those are going to be your largest employers here in Laurel. And here's a little bit of history about this city. Now, Laurel, Mississippi was incorporated as a city in 1882. Now, during this time, yellow pine fueled the city's economy. In other words, timber was, this city was mainly ran off, I can't even talk right. Anyways, the city, basically timber was the city's economy for the most part. That's what I was trying to say. My apologies. So anyways, and that's due to the fact that this city is located in the heart of the pine woods. And this area was nothing but a bunch of longleaf pine trees before the city of Laurel was formed. Now, during this time, you had some of your most common jobs that people worked were they either worked as a sawmill operator or they worked as a lumberjack. The timber era lasted from 1893 to 1937. Really the timber era started back in the 1880s. See, back in the 1880s, it first began to take off. And then by the 1890s, the timber era, it built momentum. So once the timber economy in this area built momentum, which was in the 1890s, 1893 to 1937. I mean, after that, this city then switched over to manufacturing. Switched over to manufacturing, obviously the growth of this city continued because you had a lot of people moving here from other more rural parts of the states. They're moving here to Laurel for work. And that's what caused the city to grow up until the 1960s. And I'm gonna just assume that the reason why the city shrunk was because a lot of your manufacturing jobs left the city. And I mean, for those of you that lived in a city that was heavily dependent on manufacturing, y'all know the story. A lot of those jobs, they closed their doors, they moved overseas. Y'all know the story. And most likely that's what happened to this city. And what you guys are looking at right now is basically the remnants of such economic activity or lack thereof. And in 1942, there was an African American man by the name of Howard Wash, who was convicted of taking somebody's life. He was dragged from the jail and then he was lynched. And Aaron and Ben, and I'm not going to say their entire last name, but Aaron and Ben N., a Laurel couple, were featured in the HGTV series Hometown. The show made some renovations to homes in this area. The show aired on March 21st of 2017. So for those of you guys that live around here or used to live around here and you want to go check that show out, that show aired March 21st, 2017, and apparently they were doing some renovations to some homes in this area. I might go check it out myself, just out of curiosity. Now, Steve, I think it's Forbert, Forbert. If I butcher this, for those of you that listen to folk music, if I butcher his name, I mean no disrespect. I'm just bad at names. It is what it is. But Steve Forbert, a folk music artist, he wrote a song called Going Down Laurel. It is spelled Goin, going down to Laurel. And that song released in 1978 on his Alive on Arrival album. So that's a little bit of history about the city. Now, after looking at this video, if for any reason any of you guys want to move here to Laurel, Mississippi, well, housing prices here are very affordable. Now, your home prices start as low as $16,000. So if you're handy, you're good with the tools, you got some good connections that can do the work for you, then you can buy a house here for as low as $16,000. Cheaper than the price of many used cars anymore. I know that's crazy. I would say in order to buy a house around here that I would consider decent, when I say decent, I'm talking decent neighborhood, the house itself is in decent condition. I would say if you do a little bit of negotiating and you carefully shop around, you ought to be able to find something like that for $100,000. Now, me personally, I wouldn't, well, I'll tell you guys later. Anyways, and also, if you're just looking to rent, the median rent prices, which I will tell you straight up, I think the median rent prices here are a little high for what you're getting. I'm just going to be completely frank about that. But the median rent prices, based on my research, are $570 to $970 per month. And the public schools here get a C. The public schools have a C grade, so average, nothing special going on out here. Now, what's the crime like in this city? Well, again, according to my research, and bear in mind this is per 1,000 people, the property crime here is 8.5 people. So for every 1,000 people, 8.5 people will most likely become a victim of property crime. The most common type of property crime here is theft. The national average for property crime is 19 people becoming a victim of property crime per 1,000 people. So property crime here is fairly low according to my research. And violent crime, well, violent crime per 1,000 people, 1.9 people are most likely to become a victim of violent crime. The most common type of violent crime here is assault. The national average for violent crime is 3.6 people per 1,000 people. So the crime here, according to my research, is fairly low. Now, maybe my research was correct, maybe it isn't. And I know some of you might roast me in the comments for saying what I'm getting ready to say, but just judging by the looks of certain parts of the city, I'm kind of, I don't know if the data is correct. I'm going to veer on the side of assuming that this city most likely withheld data in concerns to crime, just to make their city look better on paper at least. Now, again, I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not from this area. And for those of you that want to move here, that's the reason why that you need to come here yourself. You need to talk to a few of the locals that can tell you what it is for real, because they're from here and they're here on a day-to-day basis and they can tell you what's up. Now I'm gonna read you guys some reviews here of people that either live here or they used to live here. And I'm gonna share with you guys what they think about this city. And I'm gonna just put this disclaimer out real quick. I mean, I know there's a lot of you that you would love for me to go talk to somebody, like somebody that actually lives in this community. You would love for me to put that person on camera, and guess what? I would love to do it too. But I can't speak for any other content creator who creates similar content to what I create, but I know for me personally, I have a hard time getting people to go on camera for me. It's either A, a lot of people simply do not want to go on camera, or B, they say they want to go on camera, and obviously anybody that's willing to go on camera, I do compensate. And typically me and that person, we do discuss all that before I cut on the camera. And there's been situations to where I recorded a video and I paid the person, but I was unable to play the video because either A, when they spoke real low, when I try to get them to talk louder, they refuse to. Or B, they said so little that it wasn't even worth my effort to post. So due to those type of situations, that's the reason why on the majority of my traveling blogs, you don't see me talk to people within the community. Now, for those of you that want me to come visit your community and you're willing to actually be on camera and tell me about your community, feel free to drop a comment below, or you can always email me at smalltownsandmore, and then we'll go from there. But honestly, I can't afford to pay people to speak, and then when it's time for them to speak, they don't want to speak. I can't afford that. And I don't do this type of stuff. I mean, I wish I did this full time, but right now I don't. I still have to work a 9 to 5. So with all that being said, I just don't have enough time to look around for someone that's willing to be on camera and they're willing to give a full, and they're willing to let everybody know how their city is, whether it be good or bad or whatever the case is. So I just wanted to put that out there for those of you that wonder, how come I never have anybody on any of my videos speaking? That's the reason why. Okay, now that I got all that out of the way, now let's get to some reviews. Out of 67 reviews, Laurel, Mississippi scores a 3 out of a 5-star rating. 16 people say this city is excellent. 18 people say this city is very good. 14 people say this city is average. 4 people say this city is poor. 15 people say this city is terrible. So I'm going to start with the excellent reviews, and I'm going to work myself down to the terrible reviews, as I normally do when I put out this type of video. Alrighty. This first review was written November of 2022. The community is really nice and loving. There are really nice events that take place, and the schools are pretty good. There are not okay, this person can't write. There's not a lot of crime in the area. Downtown is really nice. The library holds many events for young kids and for adults as well. Okay, this next one, it's another 5-star, and this one was written January of 2021. Laurel is a quiet town with good history and beautiful homes. Which, by the way, later in this video, you will see other neighborhoods that are in a little bit of condition than the neighborhood that you're looking at right now. But I know a lot of people like to look at the poorest of the poor, and the way I was driving, it just so happened that I hit the poorest of the poor before entering into the rest of the city. So it is what it is. But anyways, let me keep on going. Let me start over. Laurel is a quiet town with good history and beautiful homes. The host town for the popular TV series Hometown on HGTV. I mentioned that earlier already, but this person is talking about it again. We love supporting our locals and invite you to come on down and visit our little town of Laurel, Mississippi. You must try the Bird Dog Cafe. Chef Elliott is outstanding, and you can't beat the hospitality from front House Manager Connor Bell. Okay. I'll read one more in this category. Okay, this other one is another 5-star. It was written July of 2020. I've lived in Laurel, Mississippi all my life. If you've read the other comments, then I must clear the air a bit. Laurel is a great place to work, live, play, and raise a family. We have great schools, great shopping, wonderful restaurants and bars inside these restaurants. We do need more things for our young people to do. But we do have a bowling alley, movie theater, 2 golf clubs, a sportplex, and many other things to do and participate in. If you are new to the area, stop and ask somebody. Oh no, they said stop and ask someone. My apologies. Our people are nice, loving, and friendly. Most are animal lovers. I would think the ones that are bashing Laurel on here are people that didn't try very hard at all to find a job, fit in, or establish a life here. Relocate here and let our wonderful Aaron and Ben find and renovate a home for you. This almost sounds like a realtor that wrote that. I bet it was a realtor. I could be wrong, but I bet it was a realtor. I'm just guessing. Sorry, people. I think I got some allergies right now, so my apologies for all this coughing I'm doing. All right, we're gonna jump over to the very good ones. I'm gonna read you a few of those. All right, this first comment, which is a 4-star comment, written 8 months ago. I moved to Laurel 2 years ago. I love its small town feel, but there is not much to do here. Everything closes at 9 p.m., if not earlier. The roads are awful, and the mayor doesn't listen to his constituents. The people are very nice, though, and it is relatively a safe town. The homes are nice, although they're going up in price thanks to HGTV show. Well, okay, I don't know what to say to that, but okay. Okay, this next one, another 4-star, written September of 2023. Laurel, Mississippi is a tiny city filled with charm and warm southern hospitality. I have been living in Laurel for 12 years and find it a pretty awesome place to live. Most of everyone is friendly, good, honest people. Laurel is where the hit TV show Hometown was born. Okay, they mentioned that HGTV stuff. There are cute shopping boutiques and plenty of places to eat. The schools are pretty amazing too. One of the main things I would say needs fixing are the roads. Yeah, I gotta say I agree. They do need to address these streets because they are definitely in bad shape. Okay, read one more in this category. Okay, this one it's another 4-star, written July of 2023. I like how it's not big like Hattiesburg because they have a lot of traffic, which I get really nervous about. Even though it is a small place, you can still do fun things here at Laurel. Like go bowling with friends, walk around in downtown, and a lot more things. I would love to see more things like maybe an arcade or just some places teenagers can hang out at. I would also like to see more doctors, workers, etc. to actually learn languages that are spoken here at Laurel. so the people here feel more comfortable and would talk more so they can get better help, okay? Maybe we can have more stores open up here. Like popular stores like TJ Maxx, Ross, Books A Million, 5 and below. Also maybe more restaurants like Olive Garden, Whataburger. I also wish we could have flea markets here. Flea markets where people can go with their family and enjoy looking around and have a really good time, of course, to support people of the community. Okay, we're gonna jump over to average. And one thing which I notice when I make these kind of videos is when I read the comments off a niche, the comments that
First, you'll need to connect Google Workspace.
Oh, sorry about that. I noticed that when I read comments that are average to terrible, A, I find those comments more interesting, and B, I think those comments have a little bit more truth than some of the ones that are excellent and very good. But that's my opinion. I'm saying, hey, let me keep going here. Okay, this first comment is a 3-star. It was written March of 2024. Very recent. Just a year ago. I've been living in Laurel my life. It's an okay small town. Not that safe, but if you stay out of the way, you won't have to worry about anything. Nothing much for kids to do. I have pretty good schools and sports. Okay. I think they meant to say the city has pretty good schools and sports. I think that's what they meant to say. Okay, here's another 3-star written January of 2019. Laurel is mainly a historical city. Rogers Museum of Art is a main attraction. I probably butchered the heck out of that name. My apologies. Plenty of fast food and shopping centers. Sawmill Square Mall has great places to shop, eat, or treat yourself to a nice pedicure or manicure. And I'm going to read one more. This one is a little older. It was written August of 2017. Laurel needs more entertainment venues. The streets are also in need of repair. Otherwise, it's a decent place. Already, I'm going to read a few that have a poor rating. These are 2 stars. Laurel, Mississippi was a simple place to live and grow up in. With the show Hometown becoming popular, the town has become a tourist town. Now the town is busy and constantly going through road construction. Okay, well, like I said at the beginning of the video, when I looked at the population was going down, not growing. So I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Okay, here's another 2-star written April. This is an oldie. It's an oldie. It's written August of 2014, but I'm gonna read it anyway. The crime doesn't seem too bad, but there is a lot of poverty and unemployment mixed with low income and low education. Alrighty, I'm gonna jump down to the terrible reviews. The 1 stars. Okay, this first one is a 1 star, written 5 months ago. Let's see what they gotta say. The administration for the city of Laurel has zero respect or care for its employees. There is a gross lack of ethics and how candidates are chosen and treated. Current employees are treated as though they do not matter, and their concerns are continuously discarded. They're made to feel like they spoke up anymore. They're made to feel like if they spoke up anymore, they'll lose their jobs or be retaliated against. Their practices should be investigated by the state and possibly federal entities. The way their officers treat each other, put them all in danger. I wonder what their turnover rate is. My apologies. They're never fully staffed. Okay, this next one is another one story. It was written June of 2023. Do not listen to any of these comments. Laurel is a horrible place to live. It is a small town with a huge population. I would say 9% black, 10% white, a massive drug issue, overly expensive for absolutely no reason. Horrible places to live if you want your children to grow up finding needless. If you want your children to grow up finding needles in the yard, or get shot in a drive-by, or picked up by racist people, don't move to Laurel. This place is horrible. I wonder if the person who wrote that was white, and when they say racist, I'm wondering if they're talking about racist white people or they're talking about racist black people. But I guess somebody in the comments can answer that question if you want. Okay, this next one it's another one story. It was written April of 2023. This is a small town that had a racial war in the 1980s. So what happened? This town has a high crime rate. Although everyone, including myself, has moved out, the town is run down and a lot of low-paying chicken plant jobs. This town has no idea or plan or the money or resources to help poor people. Poverty in this town is bad. The mayor sweeps it under the rug. After Hurricane Katrina, a lot of people from New Orleans moved here and brought violence and drugs here to a rundown small town that has no money. Okay, I got another one star written in 2022. Okay. I have lived here for 60 years. First of all, the show Hometown doesn't show you the Laurel underbelly. Everything is a fake facade for show ratings, and every time I hear of something come here, and every time I hear of someone coming here for their vacation, I think to myself, boy, are you going to be duped. Laurel is just a town that is all. None of this on the show ever existed before the producers of the show told the Napiers, well, that's the last name of the two people that I talked about earlier in the video. I told you I'll just give you their first initial, but I messed up. I got their last name, whatever. If you do come here, get away from what they want you to see and go to Meridian Avenue, 1st and 2nd Avenue. And while you are looking around, ride down to 5 Points and Cook Avenue to get a full flavor of this city. Enjoy. So basically, this person is saying that everything that was on HGTV back in, I think, 2017 was all BS. It was all facade. And you know, and actually, now that I think about it, I remember somebody else saying the same thing about HGTV. Like a lot of the houses that they show, like I'll give you all an example. They might say, okay, they're renovating the house in Detroit. Come to find out, either A, the house is not really in Detroit. It might be in one of the neighboring suburbs. Or B, if it isn't, or B, another trick that these shows play, allegedly, this is just what I heard, is they might show you a nice neighborhood, tell you that it's in Detroit, when in reality, it might be in one of the neighboring suburbs, or they'll show you a nicer neighborhood in the city. I mean, there's like I can't remember clearly exactly what was said. This is like several years ago, but what I'm trying to tell you guys is, when it comes to HGTV, apparently they have a lot of tricks up the sleeve just to get their views up. So, I guess in a nutshell, what you see is not exactly what it is. And that's what this person who put that review that I just read was saying about that show that aired in 2017 that I talked about towards the beginning of the video. Okay, let me keep on going. I got more. Now, here's another 1-star, written May of 2021. I mean, a lot of these comments are not that old. They're fair, 2021. That was only a few years ago. I'm going to definitely read it. It's a long one, too. I used to be a screenplay editor before I moved back and married a guy here in Laurel that never left. He deeply regrets it. I do not regret leaving, and we're leaving. Article after article about how adorable the Napiers were. Those are the people that won that HGTV show back in 2017. That has not been our experience with them. And as someone said on here, there are no jobs. I am a teacher, and I work strictly online because the jobs in this town, particularly for women, are at a premium because they aren't any. If you want to teach, you better be extremely well connected, and you better be a run-of-the-mill I'm not sure what they're saying, but basically, if you want to get a job being a teacher in this city, you better have some damn good connections. That's basically what this person is trying to say. More than any place I lived in the South, hospitality here is skin deep. Once you get here, you will find that people don't do things together. The chumming, I'm not sure what that means. So the TV show is how it is. I'm not sure what they mean by that. Many people on the show that moved here, left here embittered by the racism, by the lack of intellectual stimulation, and no diversity. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. That vision makes rich white people richer and not much else. Okay, so basically this town is trash. Apparently people here are prejudiced. That's basically what the person's saying. This person used a whole lot of words that I don't understand, and that's why when I was trying to read that review, I had trouble reading because they use a lot of that I don't understand. I don't talk like that, so. But basically, to paraphrase what this person was saying, in a nutshell, basically what this person is saying is, this city is garbage. Don't move here. And basically, don't believe anything that was said on HGTV back in 2017 when that show was aired. Let me keep on going. Okay, this one, I'm going to read another one. This comment was written December of 2020. Like I told you guys a few minutes ago, a lot of times when you start reading comments, when you start reading reviews that are average to poor, or in this case terrible, sometimes the truth about the community comes out. Sometimes the truth about the city comes out. This one was written in December of 2020. It's another 1-star. I've lived here my whole life. The hometown show is fake ass crap unless you're rich. Everyone is racist, ignorant, and homophobic for the most part. There is nothing to do but meth, overeat, drink, or end up pregnant. Healthcare sucks, and there's hardly any jobs unless you want to be a teacher or work in a plant. Everyone hates it here, besides the old people and the rich people who literally get away with murder because they know the right people. I can't wait to get out so my kids can have a better opportunity and a better education than I had. Okay, this next comment, another 1-star, written June of 2020. Trash. Okay, this city's trash. That's what they're saying. They repeat the word trash like a gazillion times. Let's keep going. Okay, this comment it's an older one. It was written January of 2018. It's a 1-star. Laurel is full of drugs and don't bother asking for a job. There are no jobs. No one cares if you starve to death. The police are already seeing what you are doing, so they can arrest you and make money off you. Alright people, I think I read enough. I think you guys get the idea. I mean, there's clearly a lot of people that disagree with what was on HGTV back in 2017. A lot of people on niche are telling you that basically it was all fake, it ain't real. And honestly, I know some of you that love this city, you take pride in this city, you're going to probably be upset when I say what I'm getting ready to say, but for all the people that stated that what was on HGTV was fake, I would have to agree. Because just by me driving through this city the way I drove through this city for this video, I would say that, yeah, a lot of it was, I would definitely say there's a lot of things that were done for the sake of views. And they didn't show you the real deal. I would have to agree with all the people that stated that in the reviews on Niche. And with saying all that, obviously, I personally wouldn't want to live here. I mean, I don't know if people here are nice or not. I couldn't answer that question because I've only been here once. But just judging by the looks of the city and just, I don't know. I mean, this wouldn't be the kind of city I would want to live in. I'll just put it like that. You know what? Let me look at one thing here, because I'm gonna see how close it is to Hattiesburg. I'm just curious. Mississippi.
Hattiesburg is 35 minutes from Laurel by car in light traffic. Here are your direct...
Hattiesburg, Mississippi population.
In 2023, the population of Hattiesburg was 48,414.
Alright people, when I first began the video, I forgot to mention that this city was also within 40 minutes of Hattiesburg, because Hattiesburg has got over 48,000 people. So for those of you that are still watching, another place you can go for entertainment and or amenities is Hattiesburg. I completely forgot about Hattiesburg. I mean, I mentioned Meridian, but I didn't mention another thing about Hattiesburg. So there you go. You got Hattiesburg, Mississippi as well. So my apologies. But yeah, for me, this city wouldn't cut. It wouldn't. I mean, for one, it's too far from a major metro area. I mean, I know some of you are probably yelling at the screen and you're thinking, Hattiesburg is a metro, you dumbass. Or Meridian, that is a metro. And although those places might be considered a metro, although they might call them a metro, when I say a metro, I'm talking about the city proper having at least a couple 100,000 people in the area, in the metro area as a whole, having a minimum of maybe 600,000 or 700,000 people. That's why I call it metro. And with that being said, the closest metro to here, or what I would consider a metro, would be Jackson, Mississippi. But Jackson, Mississippi ain't even that big of a city. So, you know, I wouldn't want to move here. Even if I was retired and didn't have to worry about the local economy, I still won't. I mean, there's other communities. If I was wanting to live in Mississippi, there's other communities that I'm pretty sure are nicer that I would prefer to live in as opposed to living here in Laurel. And that's my honest opinion about this city. I mean, I'm pretty sure for somebody out here, this city might be a perfect fit, but for me, I pass. With all these potholes in the street, I mean, this city kind of reminds me of a super small southern version of Toledo, Ohio. I mean, there's another small city that this city reminds me of. I can't think of the name of the city. I wish I could, but my mind went completely blank. Alright folks, that's going to do it for the commentary. I would love for you guys to stick around and watch the remaining 8 minutes of the video. On that note, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. And I know I butchered a couple of names. My apologies. So stay blessed, and I will catch you all on the next one.
cancel.
Call from 317-567-1176. Do you want to answer?